one of the things that really seems to help is to write out your plans for the future. We have a program, an online program called Future Authoring that we've used with about 10,000 university students now and raised their grade point average 25% and dropped their dropout rate by about the same. It particularly works well for men who are generally underperforming women now, and so that I think it's raising them up. And it also works spectacularly well for non-Western ethnic minority men, which was also extraordinarily positive because, you know, that was a great unexpected outcome. But in some of it is to aim at something that's worth aiming at.
Yeah.
And how do you determine what's worth aiming at? You think, well, okay, here I have my miserable, wretched life. Under what conditions would it justify itself? As far as I'm concerned, personally, like under what conditions would my life justify itself? And so you think, well, what sort of future would I have to have so that I could say this is worth it? And then that's what you aim for. And technically that works in part because we know that most of the systems that mediate positive emotion in human beings, and so those would be the dopaminergic systems that have their roots in the hypothalamic exploratory centers, are activated in relationship to the pursuit of a goal, not as a consequence of attaining something. That's a consumatory reward system, but human beings mostly run on incentive reward. And so it appears that the higher the goal, the more kick you get from noting your progress towards that goal. Now, you have to be careful because you don't want to pick a goal that's so impossible that all you ever do is fail in relationship to it. That's an issue of self-management, right? You want to pick a goal that moves you to the next plateau that you have a reasonable but not certain probability of attaining. So that's part of it, is to formulate a plan to decide who it is, what it is that you want to be, who it is that you want to be from a characterological perspective. And if you're having other problems, well, you know, some of that is, when you're talking more on the clinical end of things, is that, again, the devil's in the details, but it's useful to talk to people. It's useful to write about what it is that you're up to. But it's most worthwhile to organize your life, I would say, and to pick a goal and to aim at it. That's a very nice way of starting to straighten things out for yourself. So, but I mean, I would also say, like, I've had many clients. I often advocate the use of antidepressants. I mean, for example, people have all sorts of physiological problems that compromise their movement forward, and those have to be addressed. I'm not saying that you can lift yourself up by your bootstraps in every possible situation. I know that to not be true. You take whatever interventions you need in order to allow yourself to continue moving forward in the world. But, you know, and what do you do to try to set yourself up? Well, have some friends. That's helpful. Have an intimate relationship. Try to make one that's reasonably permanent. That's helpful. Aim at having a family and children. Aim at being useful to the community and turning yourself into something that's noble and respectable and powerful. And that'll help you orient yourself when you're young, and because you'll start to see that you could have a life that was worth living, that you could be not proud of. That's the wrong way of thinking about it, but that you could live in the right way of phrasing it is that you could live in a manner that justifies the fragility of being. That's the right way to think about it. That's the right way to think about it. Because the fragility of being is a very powerful argument against its existence.